Fire Paramedic 33. What is your emergency?
Yes, sir. I need an ambulance as soon as possible, sir. Sir, we have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we're trying to pump him, but he's not.
Okay. Okay. How old is he?
He's 50 years old, sir.
50. Okay. Did anybody witness what happened?
No, just the doctor, sir. The doctor's been the only one here.
Okay. So the doctor see what happened?
Doctor, did you see what happened, sir? And, sir, you just, if you can please.
We're on our way. We're on our way. I'm just passing these questions on to my paramedics while they're on the way there, sir.
Thank you, sir. He's pumping the chest, but he's not responding to anything, sir. Please.
Okay. We're on our way.
Now on to one of our other big stories. The king of pop has died. Michael Jackson, the pop music and dance innovator, passed away yesterday. Jackson appeared to have suffered from cardiac arrest. He was 50 years old.
Where were you when you first heard that Michael Jackson died? Perhaps you were one of the people searching the internet for confirmation that the king of pop had indeed passed away. Because on the day Michael Jackson died, AOL, Google, and Twitter all collapsed because of a large number of people were searching for confirmation about MJ's death. Now, what if I tell you that there is a chance Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, aka Brother Love, or whatever interesting name he calls himself these days, is connected to Michael Jackson's death? Fam, just stick with me and I will connect the dots for you. But first, we gotta go back to March 9th, 1997, the day another icon passed away. This was the day the notorious B.I.G. was killed. Now, there are many who believe Biggie was killed by a man called Poochie. But there are two people who were there on the night Biggie was killed that have always insisted that he was allegedly killed by another man called Amir Muhammad. One of Biggie Smalls' best friends, Lil Cease, who was in the same car with Biggie and Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal, have always believed that Amir Muhammad was Biggie's killer.
Amir Muhammad, the guy that was wearing the bow tie the night that Biggie got killed, the Muslim guy, the guy that you believe that was behind Biggie's murder. Are you sure that he was the one that was behind it? Do you really believe that? Because I seen on the LA local news that he live in Georgia now and he does real estate.
They got pictures of Amir Muhammad at that thing. Why was he there? Why was he there? In a blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie.
Gene Deal was in the same car with Diddy on that night. He stated that Amir Muhammad walked up to their car, had a conversation with Diddy, and less than 10 minutes later, he shot Biggie.
Why did he walk up to me and Puff's car? Do you understand me? Why 8 to 10 minutes later, Lil C see a guy in a blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie, peanut head, shoot big. I know who walked up to us, brother. You understand me? I know the picture I saw.
Now, Amir Muhammad is a very interesting fella. He has strong ties to the military and LAPD. And despite the fact that there were two eyewitnesses that stated he was the shooter, he was never really prosecuted. Till today, Amir Muhammad remains a free man living in La Vida Loca as a real estate tycoon in Georgia. According to Gene Deal, Amir Muhammad acquired his riches through very shady means. Just to let you know how dangerous Amir Muhammad allegedly is, his ex-partner and her boyfriend wound up dead after having issues with him, and their deaths were ruled as murders.
$750,000 from a bank robbery from two cops. One of the cops would use godfather of his son. They never got the $750,000 back. That'll help any real estate business. I don't care what he do. Did they also say that he was the same individual and the same person that got into a situation with his ex-wife or his girlfriend and her boyfriend and they end up dead?
Amir Muhammad was allegedly a top Hollywood handler or fixer. If you need to get something done, clean up a crime, or perhaps even make someone disappear, then Amir Muhammad was allegedly the man to make it happen. And he would get all of this done without any repercussions or consequences. Amir Muhammad was allegedly working with Diddy to take out Biggie because, as Gene Deal said earlier, Amir allegedly spoke to Diddy just a few minutes before Big was killed. So, how is all of this connected to MJ? This is when things get real. Music producer Rodney Jones, aka Lil Rod, recently accused Brother Love of sexual assault and harassment. The lawsuit basically states that Diddy is allegedly running a sex cult or ring in the Virgin Islands.
P. Diddy's sexual blackmail ring? puts Michael Jackson's whole life story in a whole new light. So this new lawsuit just came out that shows tons of evidence that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, has been running a sexual blackmail operation very much like Jeffrey Epstein, but in the rap and music industry for basically 30 years.
This cult is allegedly used to provide minors for top Hollywood stars and music executives, and also used to blackmail them. This is the same lawsuit that a Philadelphia rapper who some of you might know as Freaky Meek, who dated Nicki Minaj, was mentioning.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Now, in the same lawsuit, there's a man called Fahim Muhammad, who is Diddy's head of security while he's running this alleged sex blackmail ring.
Sexual blackmail activities at crazy parties where he's drugging his guests and bringing in underage girls.
Fahim Muhammad is also the younger brother of Amir Muhammad, the man who is allegedly Biggie's killer. Fahim Muhammad allegedly took over from his big bro and continued his legacy or the family business. Because Fahim Muhammad is not just Diddy's head of security, he is also Diddy's handler, fixer, and a man who helps him run this alleged sex cult. Fahim just continued from where his brother stopped. According to Lil Rod, Diddy stated that Fahim Muhammad had the power to make people and problems disappear. In fact, Diddy allegedly told his staff that whenever they are pulled over by the cops in Miami or LA, they should just call Mr. Muhammad. That's how reliable he was. The lawsuit also stated that there was a shooting inside Chalice recording studio. Either Diddy or his son Justin Combs allegedly shot one of Justin's friends who was called G in the lawsuit. But after this alleged shooting, Fahim Muhammad fixed the situation. It was reported that G was a victim of a drive-by shooting that happened outside and not inside the studio. Fahim Muhammad allegedly used his connections with the LAPD to cover up the shooting. Mr. Muhammad allegedly spoke to the cops for hours at the scene of the crime, and even though the LAPD saw the blood on the victim, Diddy allegedly got away with the shooting without any questions being asked, and no one was arrested for the crime. What if I tell you there is actually a chance you've seen Fahim Muhammad before he became the head of Diddy Security? Mr. Muhammad was Michael Jackson's head of security. In fact, he was put on the stand during the trial of MJ's death.
Mr. Muhammad, I want to take your attention back to June of 2009. At that time, where did you work?
For Michael Jackson, sir.
And what did you do for Michael Jackson in June 2009?
I worked his security for him.
I'm sorry?
I worked security for him, security.
Okay. In June of 2009, at that point in time, how long had you worked security for Mr. Jackson?
Approximately 10 months.
And what were your responsibilities?
I was the chief of his security, so my responsibilities ranged from making sure his house was protected, making sure his children were protected, and making sure his day-to-day activities and movement was all safe and planned and mapped out.
What makes this particularly fascinating is that Fahim Muhammad was only 21 years old when he became the head of Michael Jackson's security. Not only that, before he began working for Michael Jackson in 2008, Fahim Muhammad had just graduated from Sacramento State University with a bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in real estate and marketing. How does a 21-year-old who graduated with a business administration's degree, who had no previous experience in security, become the head of security for the King of Pop, the head of security for one of the biggest stars the world would ever see?
From Sacramento State University with a bachelor's of science degree in business administration with a concentration in real estate and marketing. Okay? Do you realize what's wrong with that yet? Anything coming to mind? When did Michael Jackson die? June 25th, 2009. Jackson died from cardiac arrest caused by a propofol and benzodiazepine overdose, caused by his doctor apparently. Hold up. Hold the phone. Pause. Why is a dude who just graduated college last year with a business and real estate degree the head of security for the King of Pop, for Michael Jackson, the most famous musician of all time? What's going on? Don't you think that's a little weird?
Fahim Muhammad was one of the last people to see MJ alive.
People's 21, can you describe what is shown there?
That is the room that I walked into where I seen Mr. Jackson laying dead at.
Okay. And let me ask you, when you first came then into the foyer area, you would turn right to have the vantage point we see in People's 21, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Fahim Muhammad most likely got the job because of the connection with his brother Amir Muhammad. And another interesting part is that Fahim and Amir seem to get richer after a tragedy happens. Amir allegedly got richer after Biggie, while Fahim allegedly got richer after the death of Michael Jackson. Fahim Muhammad splashed the cash and got his son 40 acres of land in San Diego County for his 13th birthday. And even Diddy posted on his Instagram.
40 acres of land in San Diego County. That's what one dad gave his son for his 13th birthday.
He posted about it on social media and their story went viral. Rapper Sean Combs even posted about it.
Fahim says his mom taught he and his siblings how important it is to own your own property and to help their community. So when his son Fahim recently turned 13, he gave him 40 acres.
I thought it would be a great opportunity to teach him a life lesson about the value of land.
Before Michael Jackson passed away, he was fighting a battle with the top executives at Sony. Now, if these allegations in this lawsuit are proven true, and the sex cult and blackmail ring does exist, that would mean Fahim Muhammad, who was the head of Michael Jackson's security, now works for some of the same men that Michael Jackson was in war with just before he died.
So this new lawsuit just came out that shows tons of evidence that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, has been running a sexual blackmail operation very much like Jeffrey Epstein, but in the rap and music industry for basically 30 years. And in that lawsuit, we learned that his head of security while he's running the sexual blackmail ring is this guy named Fahim Muhammad, who before working for Diddy was the head of security for Michael Jackson when he was only 21. And he was one of the first people on the scene when Michael Jackson died. And before we go to Michael Jackson, the most important part of the Diddy case to bring across is the fact that the record executives at the very top knew what P. Diddy was doing. They were attending the parties with underage girls where they were spiking drinks. They were deeply involved in Diddy's personal life.
Also, Michael Jackson's final will was filed in LA on the 7th of July, but the Jackson family protested that MJ was in New York on that day and couldn't have been the one who signed off on the final will. And the Jackson family even states that there is video evidence of him being in New York on that day. Because of this final will, a man called John Branca was put in charge of Michael Jackson's estate, which was worth $230 million, and also including, most importantly, MJ's 50% share of Sony ATV, which was worth $750 million. Michael Jackson's estate ended up with this same man who MJ had fired in 2003 for colluding with the chairman of Sony, Tony Mottola, to steal money from his account. So this means MJ's estate probably ended up with the same people he was fighting with.
Because if you want to know how history happened, you need to be able to access the primary sources. And yes, Jackson did say that the Jews are, probably referring to the Jews in the music industry, are like leeches and that they took everything from them and that they did it on purpose. But when you look into those allegations or those insults, you realize that because of his will that was probably fake and filed right before his death. So the will was signed on July 7th in Los Angeles by 3 witnesses. But Jackson's family pointed out that he was in New York that day and there's video proving it. So they changed their story, but the witnesses definitely saw it and it was just in New York. So anyways, because of this will, John Branca was put in charge of his estate, which included his net worth of $230 million, but far more importantly, his 50% share of Sony ATV worth $750 million. Yes, he was taking on Sony. He was going after the hand that feeds him. And when you look into John Branca, in 2003, Jackson fired Branca because he was siphoning money out of Jackson's accounts in collusion with Sony Music CEO Tommy Mottola and funneling it through a bunch of offshore accounts in the Caribbean. John Branca is Jewish, and Tommy Mottola is also Jewish. Plus, Tommy Mottola married Mariah Carey partway through his life when she was a young woman.
So, what do you think? Do you believe Diddy is connected to MJ's death? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Stay safe, everyone.